Hello, am I audible? Okay. So yesterday I gave you some homework. You have any issue in those questions? If you want me to discuss any one of them, those.
So can you discuss the sixth question?
Sixth question. Yesterday I gave you question from J1, huh? JPY, right? Question number 6, two vectors x and y have equal magnitudes. This question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is Aksa's route. So you have two vectors x and y. They have equal magnitude. The magnitude of x minus y is n times the magnitude of x plus y. You need the angle between x and y. So Aksa, how will you calculate the magnitude of x minus y? What's the formula for calculating this magnitude?
X square plus y square. Square.
Minus 2xy cos theta, right? And how do you calculate the magnitude of x plus y?
X square plus y square plus 2xy.
Plus 2xy cos theta. From this equation, you need to calculate cos theta. So x minus y n times the magnitude of x plus y. Now let's take square on both the sides. So it's x square plus y square minus 2xy cos theta is nx square plus ny square plus 2xy n cos theta. In the next step, what we can do is see,
So it should be n square.
yeah, n square. Thank you. N square. Now, x and y have equal magnitudes. Huh? So instead of y, I can write x. So it will be twice of x square. Y and x are equal. Minus this will be twice of x square cos theta. Similarly, nx square and this y can be written as x. So it will be n square x square 2 plus y and x are equal. So you can write this as 2x square n square cos theta. You can take this cos theta term to the right hand side. I can take it to the left hand side. So we'll get 2x square minus 2n square x square is 2x square n square cos theta plus 2x square cos theta. Next, what we can do is just take common 2x square. You can take this as common. This will be 1 minus n square. Here also, you can take 2x square cos theta as common. So you'll be left with n square plus. So from here, see this 2x square will cancel this 2x square and you have cos theta, which is 1 minus n square by n square plus. Yes, Aska, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what about the rest? Ellen, Hanifa, Memuna, Sefullah, any doubt? Did you practice those questions? Okay. Hiba, it's your first class, right? So this is the second lecture. In the first lecture, we have discussed vectors. So in vectors also, we discussed the basics of vectors, unit vectors, and the parallelogram. I will share you the recording of the first lecture. So today we'll start with resolution and multiplication of vectors, which are quite independent topics. So if you don't know parallelogram law, that will not affect the questions of resolution and the multiplication of vectors. Okay, after this, we'll start with resolution. Resolution of vectors. So let's do a quick recap of the theory and we'll start with the numericals. Alan, what does resolution of vectors means? Alan, Saifullah, what does resolution of vector means?
It means a vector can be broken down into two different components.
Yeah. So resolution means you can break a vector into a number of vectors which are acting in different directions. So resolution means process of splitting up of vectors. Process of splitting up of vectors. You can split a single vector into two or more forms. So if you have a vector A, resolution means you split this vector A into further two vectors. You split this in terms of A1 and A2. And when you add them up, like when you add vector A1 plus vector A2, you will get back the same vector A. So resolution means you are breaking this vector A into two vectors, A1 and A2. So these A1 and A2 are sometimes known as the component vectors of A. They are known as the component vectors of A, this A1. And when you add them up, it gives you the vector A. Now, two component vectors can act in any direction. In general, the two components can act in any direction. But in mechanics, we usually need rectangular components. Rectangular component means components which are perpendicular to each other, which means if a component is acting along x-axis, another component will act along y-axis. So rectangular component means components perpendicular to each other. So the components which are perpendicular to each other are known as rectangular components. So how to calculate rectangular components? This is vector A. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. This angle is theta. This is theta. So you can resolve this vector A into two parts. You can take one component which is along x-axis. You can take another component which is along y-axis. So if I'm taking component along x-axis, then the component along x-axis will be a cos theta, and the component along y-axis will be a sin theta. So how to decide cos theta and sin theta? The direction with respect to which theta is given will have cos theta, and the perpendicular one will have sin theta. Is it clear? Hanifa, Hiba, Mamuna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I ask you to do in this way, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is vector A, and I call this angle as theta. So Hiba, what will be the y component AY? Hiba, what will be the y component AY? Hanifa, what will be the y component here? AY?
A cos theta.
A cos theta. Because you have direction with respect to y-axis. Hiba, what will be the x component now?
A sine theta.
A sine theta. Good. This is how we resolve vectors along x and y axis. And there's one more thing. See, x and y are mutually perpendicular. It's not necessary that you call this always as x and you always call this as y. You can change x and y. See, if I take an inclined plane, I take an inclined plane. Huh? This is the inclined. This angle is theta. And let's say take some vector on the inclined plane. Let's take that vector as f. I ask you to resolve this vector f in two directions. One direction is along the plane and another direction is perpendicular to the plane. So let's call this direction, which is along the plane, as x. And let's take this direction, which is perpendicular to the plane as well. So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So your x and y should be mutually perpendicular. If they are mutually perpendicular, they can be in any direction. So it's not necessary that x should always be here. This is x my axis. This is my y-axis. So now to resolve f, I need angle either with respect to x or with respect to y. So to get angle, we can just extend it here. I call this angle as 90 degrees. This is theta. Ellen, how much will be this angle of the triangle? This is theta, this is 90 degree. How much will be this angle?
90 minus theta.
90 minus theta. Now, if I call this whole as 90 degree, right? This is y-axis, which is perpendicular to the inclined plane. This whole is 90 degree. Hiba, how much is this angle? This whole is 90. This one is 90 minus theta. How much is this angle? Aksha, how much is this angle? Okay. Mamuna, how much is this angle? This whole is 90 degree. This is 90 minus theta. How much is this? Okay. Now it's an open question to all of you. Can anyone answer how much is this? Theta. Okay, good. See, the total is 90 degree. Na? So 90 minus theta. If I call this angle that we are supposed to calculate as x, then the sum of these two angles is 90 degree. 90 will cancel this 90, so x will be theta. Is it clear or should I repeat it again? Iba, Aksha, Hanifa. Is this clear or should I repeat it again?
Yes.
Clear. So this angle is also theta. So Hiba, if this angle is theta, can you calculate component along this direction? The component of f. Hiba, this is f. This angle with this direction is theta. Can you calculate its component along this direction? See, this is the same thing that you have answered here. Mamuna, will you try?
So can you repeat the question?
Yeah, this is force F, right? I need component of force F along y-axis. This angle is theta. See, it will be F cos theta. Na? The direction with respect to which theta is given will have cos theta component. Huh? And what will be the component in this direction, Hiba? What will be the component along x-axis?
F sine theta.
F sine theta. Hiba, you should try. See, even if you think your answer may be wrong, at least try. It will at least help me to understand your level of understanding. See, I ask randomly very frequently question just to understand your learning pattern. If you don't answer that, all my efforts will get failed. And that's the only reason to keep very small batches in Learnivio. Otherwise, instead of making very small 10 batches, we can make a single batch like other platforms. We make small batch so that we can at least know your level of understanding, what problems you are facing. That is possible only if only by your responses. If you don't respond, it'll be very tough for me to decide. Okay, so is it clear, everyone? Ellen, Aksha, Memuna, Safullah,
Yes.
fine. Just note it down. Sarah, it's your first class with me.
Yes, sir.
So it's your first class in Learnivio, or you were with us in class 12th also?
I joined in like term 2 of 11th.
Okay. So this is the second lecture of vectors. In the first lecture, we just discussed unit vectors and parallelogram law. Today we started with the resolution. So are you following these steps, this resolution of vector?
Yes, sir.
Sure, okay, good. So just note it down. We'll do some numericals. Sefula, just Saurabh told me that you have some confusion regarding JEE and NEET, na?
Could you repeat, sir, please?
You have some confusion regarding JEE and NEET? Someone
Yes,
from
sir.
the... Okay, so let's discuss it at the end of the class.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Also, Sarah, Hiba, after at the end of the class, we'll discuss the strategy, that books that we'll be using for the next 7 weeks, and how will we finish the syllabus in a short duration of time. The whole strategy we'll discuss at the end of the class. Can I scroll it? So everyone have written? Okay, so let's do some question based on this logic. There's one question from the JPYQ. This single question will check all aspects of resolution and also the parallelogram law. See, initially I'm taking questions from JEE just to just for your for the sake of your calculations, huh? Okay, so if you can attempt questions from JEE, then NEET will be the questions of NEET will be very, very easy for you. Just do one thing, at least draw this figure, draw this diagram, and then we'll solve it. You are 7 people, na? So everyone will do one step, so we can solve this numerical. Just draw this figure. So while drawing this figure, keep in mind we have 5 vectors, and OP, OQ, OR, OS, and OT. Okay. So let's start with these calculations. Hiba, let's start with you. Hiba, can you resolve this vector Q along x-axis? The magnitude of Q is 10 Newton. Hiba, at least try. The component of 10 Newton along x-axis. What will the component? Yes, Hiba. Hiba, you're not audible. Can't hear you. I know you're trying to speak, but your mic is not working, I believe. Can you try it again? Just tell me once more. The component of 10 Newton along x-axis. Sarah, will you try the component of 10 Newton along x-axis?
It will be Q cos theta.
Yeah, it should be Q. So Q, the magnitude of Q is 10, right? So it should be 10 cos 30. Very good. What about the Y component of this 10 Newton?
10 sine 30 degree.
Yeah, very good. 10 sine 30 degree. Similarly, we can calculate the components of P. See, P is along this direction and the Y component I need. Hanifa, what is the Y component of 20 Newton? 20 Newton along Y axis. Yes, Hanifa. 20 Newton along Y axis.
20 cos theta.
Very good. 20 cos 30. And what about along X axis?
20 sine.
Very good. 20 sine 30. Next. I need component of 15 Newton again. Aksa, what is the component along Y axis?
15 cos 60.
15 cos 60. And along X axis?
15 sine 60.
15 sine 60. Alan, component of 15 Newton, this 15 Newton, OS along X axis?
15 cos 45.
15 cos 45. And what about the Y component?
15 sine 45.
15 sine 45. Similarly, this is 20 Newton. Hiba, now you should try. The component of 20 Newton along x-axis.
20 cos 45.
Good. This one,
20 sin 45.
20 sin 45. Safula, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Step 2. We need net force along x-axis. Net force along x-axis. So to get the value of net force along x-axis, what we can do is, so just count the number of forces which are acting along x-axis. This, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 components are acting along x-axis. Take one of the direction as positive. So I'm taking positive x-axis as positive. So all these forces will be positive. And rest of the forces will comes with a negative sign. So along x-axis, net force would be, this will be 10 cos 30 plus 20 sin 30 plus 20 cos 45 minus 15 sin 60 minus 15 cos 45. So this is fx. You can write this as, this is 10. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2, 20. Sin 30 is half, 20. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2, 15. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2, 15. Cos 45 is 1 by. So if I want to simplify it, this is 10 root 3 plus 20 into half is 10 plus it's 20 by root 2. It's minus 15 and by 2. So it's 7.5 root 3 minus 15 by root. So see this 10 root 3 and this 7.5 root 3. When you subtract it, it will be 2.5 root 3. This 10 will remain as it is. 20 by root 2 minus 15 by root 2, it's 5 by root 2. This is force along x-axis. Similarly, you can calculate force along y-axis. So Safullah, just tell me what will be the value of force along y-axis. Just
10 sin 30.
very good. So this will be positive. So that's 10 sin 30, right?
Plus
Then
20 cos 30.
very good.
Plus
Then
15 cos 60.
good.
Minus 15 sin 45.
Mm.
And minus 20 sin 45.
So sin 30 is half. It's 10 into half. 20 into cos 30 root 3 by 2. 15 into cos 60, it's half. Sin 45 is root 2 minus 20 by root 2. So see, 10 by 2 is 5. It's plus, this will be 10 root 3. 15 by 2 is 7.5. Minus 15 by root 2 minus 20 by root 2 minus 35. So you calculated fx as well as fy. So this is your fx. And if I simplify it, 5 plus 7.5 is 12.5 plus 10 root 3 minus 35 root. This is fy. Now, if you want to calculate the total force, it will be just fx plus fy. So that's 2.5 root 3 plus 10 minus 5 by root 2 I cap plus 12.5 plus 10 root 3 minus 35 by root 2 j cap. So this is how we add more than two vectors using resolution. This should not be a new method for you. In class 12th, you have a derivation of electric field on equatorial line of dipole, right? You have a derivation, electric field on axial line and electric field on equatorial line. When you do that derivation, electric field on equatorial line, you use resolution of vector. You resolve vector along x and y axis and use that derivation. So in our syllabus also, as we move forward, whenever we need addition of more than two vectors, we'll be using resolution. So if you know this numerical, then you can attempt 5-6 questions based on these numericals. This same calculation will repeat in electrostat. This will repeat in magnetics. This will repeat in questions of laws of motion. So if you know this, you can attempt all those type of questions. Just tell me if you have doubt in any step, I can repeat it. I know it's a lengthy calculation, but you should know this numerical. If you know this numerical, it will help you in various chapters. Sarah, Saifullah, Alan, doubts?
No,
You
sir.
have doubts? No doubts. Sarah, you got these calculations?
Yes, sir.
Sure, okay, good. Okay, now do one thing, just note it down, and please don't just copy these calculations. If you copy these calculations, then whole motive will get defeated. Do it on your own. If you're stuck in any step, just tell me, I will help you out. Do it. Hiba, you have doubts in calculations?
No, sir.
Sure, okay, good. So do this calculation on your own. Don't just copy these things, huh? Don't just copy it. And please tell me once you have written. And please do one more thing. The answer is given in decimals. So just put the value of root 3, which is 1.732, root 2, which is 1.414, and try to get the final answer. Just convert all these things in decimals. Don't copy any step. Just do each and every step on your own. When you have written one step, just confirm from the screen whether you are writing it correctly or making some mistake. Haji, written. Hiba, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sarah, Hiba, Aksa. Can I change the slide now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sure. So that was about resolutions. If you know this numerical, you can attempt all questions of resolution. After resolution, the next is multiplication of vectors. Multiplication of vectors. So when we multiply two vectors, we can have two cases. The first is on multiplying two vectors, you can get a scalar, like you have two vectors, you multiply them and the result is a scalar. Or you can multiply two vectors and the result is a vector. So these are the two types of multiplications. One is known as the dot product. Another is known as the cross product. So in dot product, you multiply two vectors and your result is a scalar. And in cross product, you multiply two vectors and result is a vector. In NEET specially, they always ask questions on dot product or cross product. You may not get question on parallelogram law and resolution, but you will always get question either on dot product or on cross product. So let's discuss dot product. Dot. So you have two vectors. One is vector A, another is vector B. They are inclined at an angle theta. So when you take dot product of A and B, A dot B will be equal to AB cos theta. This is how we calculate dot product. A dot B is AB cos theta. This is how we define the dot product. Now let's see some examples of dot product from physics. One is work done. Work done is the dot product of force and displacement. Another example is power, is the dot product of force and velocity. Okay, can you remember any example of dot product from class 12 syllabus? You just have done those things. You can find one example of dot product in chapter number 1, electrocharge and field. Does anyone remember any relation where you use dot product in chapter 1?
E dot ds.
Yes, flux. Electric flux is the dot product of electric field and area. So these are few examples of dot product. Now, after this, let's discuss some properties of dot product. First property. A is a vector, B is a vector, but when you take A dot B is a scalar. Dot product of vector A and vector B is a scalar. It's a scalar. Second. So the first property, A is a vector, B is a vector, and A dot B is not a vector, A dot B is a scalar quantity. Second property. If vectors are parallel, parallel means vectors are acting in same direction. So this is vector A, this is vector B, they're acting in same direction. If they're acting in same direction, then angle between them is 0 degree. So if you take dot product, A dot B is AB cos 0. So how much is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. So this will be cos 0 will be AB. So if vectors are parallel, then you can say dot product is maximum. Sometimes he does not tell you about the direction. He just tell you, okay, the given vectors are parallel. If they are parallel, that means dot product will be maximum. Third. In the same thing, you can write I cap dot I cap. Hiba, what is the angle between I cap and second I cap? But think I cap is a unit vector along x-axis. Second I cap is the same thing. So what should be the angle between these two I cap? Sarah, will you decide?
0 degree.
0 degree. See, both the I caps are along x-axis, so the angle between them is 0 degree. Similarly, if I take two j cap or if I take two k cap, the angle between them is 0 degree. If I take their dot, I will get 1. So you should remember this thing. I dot I, j dot j, k dot k, all is equal to 1. Third one, if vectors are perpendicular. So if you have two vectors, one is vector A, another one is vector B, and they are perpendicular, and you want to calculate A dot B. So A dot B will be A B cos 90. Cos 90 is 0, so this is AB1. Sorry, it will be 0. So if vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product is 0. So what should be I dot J, Alan? What should be the value of I dot J?
So 1.
No, they are perpendicular. So if vectors are perpendicular, then dot is 0. What should be J dot K, Hanifa? Hanifa, what should be J dot K? Mamuna, what should be J dot K? Okay, can you at least tell me what is the direction of J cap? Mamuna, in which direction this J cap acts? People are not listening, huh? Hanifa, in which direction this J cap is acting? Saifullah, in which direction this J cap is acting?
Along y-axis,
And what about K cap?
z-axis.
So what's the angle between them? 90 degree, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you have 90 degree, then the dot product will be 0. Similarly, if I write I cap dot K cap, the angle between them is 90 degrees, so the dot product is 0. So if you have two vectors which are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is always 0. Fourth one. You can get some questions from this property also, like the question could be in this form. You have a vector A, which is I cap, plus 2j cap. Okay, no, we'll discuss it later. The next property is you can calculate dot product if your vectors are in Cartesian form. Dot product in Cartesian form. Mamuna, what's the meaning of Cartesian form? Hanifa, what's the meaning of Cartesian form?
It
Sorry.
can be added algebraically.
So where were you before 5-10 minutes? I was repeatedly asking questions. You were not even responding. You were not in class, huh? So A is A1 I cap plus A2 J cap plus A3 K cap. And you have vector B, which is B1 I cap. This is Cartesian form. B2 J cap plus B3 K cap. Now let's calculate A dot. So vectors are given in Cartesian form. Then calculation of A dot B is very easy. Just multiply the coefficient of I cap with I cap, J cap with J cap, and K cap with K cap. The coefficient of I cap is A1 here, B1 here. So it's A1, B1. Also, J cap is A2, J cap is B2. So it's A2, B2. K cap is A3, K cap is B3. So that's A3, B3. So this is how we calculate dot product in Cartesian form. If vectors are given in Cartesian form, just multiply ith component with the ith component, jth with the jth, and kth with the kth component. Note it down. We'll do one question over it. Mavuna, you are in class now? Mavuna, are you in class now? Hiba, any doubt in dot product?
No, sir.
Sorry, some issue with the network. Did you write up to here? Ellen, Mamuna?
Yes, sir.
Mamuna, any issue with the calculations? Jasola, Aksa, written?
Yes, sir.
So let's start with some numericals based on this calculation. Let's do this numerical. So you have a vector A, which is I cap plus 2j cap minus 3k cap. And you have a vector B, which is I cap minus j cap plus 4k cap. Okay, not 4. Minus xj cap plus 4k cap. This is given that A and B are perpendicular. It's given. Calculate the value of x. Do it. Solve it and write your answer in chat room. So you have two vectors. In vector B, x is an unknown. You're supposed to calculate the value of x provided A and B are perpendicular. Do it fast. Okay, I got one answer from Saifullah. Sarah, Hiba, Hanifa, answers. The simple calculation. Okay, just tell me if you need some hint. If anyone of you needs some hint to solve this calculation, just tell me. I'll give you a hint. Alan, what happened?
Yes, I'm still doing it.
Okay. Hanifa, are you able to solve it? Or you need some help? You're doing. See, there are just two options. Either you write some answer in the chat room, or if you have issues, just tell me, I'll give you a hint. Don't just waste your time. Huh? You just have 7 weeks. If you use them these 7 weeks properly, you can crack this exam. Okay, got one answer from Ellen. Hiba, are you doing it or you need some help?
So I'm doing.
Okay, just one more minute, then I'll solve it. Aksa, Sarah, your answers. Okay, so I'm solving it now. See, A dot B, the vectors are perpendicular. That means what will be the value of A dot B, Aksa? If you have two vectors and they are perpendicular, what's the value of A dot B?
0.
0. Very good. Hiba, let's calculate the dot product. What is the coefficient of I cap here? Nothing is given. That means it's 1.
Yes, sir.
Here also it's 1. So when we take dot product, we multiply the coefficient. So just tell me, what will be the first term in the dot product? Instead of A1, B1, what term will be here? Will come here?
1.
1. Very good. Second term?
2x.
Plus 2x minus 2x. See, the coefficient of j cap is negative, na? So keep this with the negative sign. Okay, minus 2x. What will be the third term? The coefficient is minus 3 here, 4 here. What will be the third term, Hiba?
Minus 12.
Minus 12. And that should be equal to
0.
0. So it's easy, na? 1 minus 12 is minus 11. If you take minus 2x, you take it to the right hand side, this will be 2x. So your x will be minus 11 by 2. Saifullah was correct. Yeah, is it clear, everyone? Aksa, Hanifa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So start down. It's a simple question. No? So this the perpendicular vectors are very, very important for numericals of dot product. So if you have vectors which are perpendicular, then their dot product will always be. Next question. So after this, we don't need to another question on the same concept. Let's do one more property. So the last one was property number 4. Fifth property. So if you have two vectors which are given in Cartesian form, you have a vector A. It's a very important type of question. A1 I cap, A2 j cap, A3 k cap. You have vector A and you have vector B, which is B1 I cap plus B2 j cap plus B3 k cap. Now you're supposed to calculate angle between A and B. Angle between A and B. So see how to proceed in these type of questions. You need angle between vector A and vector B. So when we take dot product of A and B, the dot product of A and B is magnitude of A, it's magnitude of B into cos theta. So you can say that cos theta is vector A dot vector B divided by the magnitude of A into the magnitude of B. This is how we can calculate angle between two vectors if they are given in Cartesian form. A dot B, you know how to calculate A dot B. See, this is how you calculate A dot B in Cartesian form. If vector A is this, what is the formula for its magnitude, Sarah? If vector A is A1 I cap, A2 j cap, A3 k cap, how do you calculate the magnitude of vector A? See, if your vectors are in Cartesian form, to calculate its magnitude, what we do is the coefficient of I cap is A1, so I write this as A1 square. Coefficient of j cap is A2, so I write this as A2 square. Coefficient of k cap is A3, so we write this as. Similarly, we can calculate the magnitude of vector B also. Just note it down and do one question from the B vector. Note it down and then do this question. Same logic. Now this time I'm expecting answer from all of you. So it's an easy question. A, B are given in Cartesian form. You're just supposed to calculate the angle between them. I think it's Really sorry, bachon, some issue with my internet connection. So all are in class, na? Hanifa, Ellen, Aksa, Memuna, you are in class.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So did you write this fifth property?
Yes, sir.
And my screen is visible? Not yet.
No, sir.
Basically, due to weather, na, my internet connection is very unstable today. Is my screen visible now? Okay, so let's stop this class today here. The next class that I will take, I will make up this half an hour. Next class will take will be your 2 hours. And for homework, I'm texting you the questions. And Sara, Aksa, am I audible? My voice is clear or it's cracking?
Yes, yes, sir.
It's
Yes.
clear, sir.
It's clear. So, okay. So my internet connection is very unstable. Just give me 1 second. Let me check if it can load again. Just 1 second. Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. Now it's working now. So let's. Did you write this property? Property number 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So do this question, question number 10. Solve it and write your answer in chat. This is exactly based on this property. Okay, got one answer from Ellen. Saifullah, Aksa, Sara, Hiba, Memuna. Memuna, did you come back in class? She's still not here. Okay, good. Hiba, your answer. So I got answer from Ellen, Hanifa, Sara, Aksa, Saifullah. Hiba, your answer. So for cos theta, what you need A dot B divided by magnitude of vector A into magnitude of vector B. So A dot B will be, so the coefficient of A is 3, I cap here is 3, 3, so that will be 9. J cap is 4 and here is also 4, so it's 16. Minus coefficient of K cap is 5 and K cap is minus 5, 25. So it's 625 minus 25, that will be 0. So the dot cos theta is 0, which means theta will be 90. So dot product is 0, so that means the angle will be 90 degrees. So everyone was correct. Hiba, clear now?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Okay. So after this question, the next type of question that usually come is based on projection, is based on components. So let's see how to handle with these type questions. I'm writing that in again in property. That was 5th. Take property 6th. So if you have vectors in Cartesian form and someone asks you to calculate component of vector A along B. See here, angle is not given. Vector A and vector B are given in Cartesian form. In that case, to calculate component of A along B, what we do is we take A dot B cap multiplied by B cap. So this is how we calculate component of A along. Similarly, we can calculate component of vector B along vector A. So component of vector B along vector A, what we'll do, we'll take vector B, we'll take its dot product with A cap, and then we multiply it with A cap. Remember one thing, A cap here is vector A divided by its magnitude, and B cap here is vector B divided by its magnitude. This is how we calculate A cap and B. Note it down, we'll do one question over it also. So there is one question in PYQ from this topic also. Just note it down, we'll do one question on this concept. So don't get confused with projection. Projection means component. So this is the concept. This is question. Previous year JEE question. Do it. Projection of A on B means component of A along B. So this is it. Note it down and tell me the final answer. If anyone have issue with the calculations of B cap and A cap, just for B cap, what you will do, this is vector B, I cap plus J cap, just divide it by its magnitude. Answers. See, this is the formula. You just have to substitute the values. A you have, this is A. You just have to calculate B cap. And this multiplication here is not a dot product. It's just a normal multiplication. A dot B will be a number. A dot B cap will be a number. Just multiply that number with B cap. Okay, I got one answer from Ellen. What about the rest? Aksha? Okay. Hanifa? Saifullah, Aksha, Sarah? Okay, I got an answer from Aksha also. Okay, Saifullah, your answer is not matching with any one of it. Okay. Hiba? Okay. Okay, so finally Mamuna written in class, huh? Okay, so let's do it. I need A dot B cap into B cap. So let's first calculate B cap. What is B cap? B cap is vector B divided by the magnitude of vector B. What is vector B? This is I cap plus J cap. What is the magnitude of vector B? It's I cap coefficient square 1 square plus J cap coefficient square 1 square. So this is I cap plus J cap by root 2. Or you can simply write this as it's I cap by root 2 plus J cap by root 2. So this is your unit vector B cap. And this is your vector A, I cap plus J cap plus K cap. What you want, you want component of A along B. So first of all, let's calculate A dot B cap. So A is I cap plus J cap plus K cap. Hiba will do the dot product. I'm just writing I cap by root 2 plus J cap by root 2. Yes, Hiba. What will be the dot product here? Just have to multiply the coefficients. Huh? You know how to do dot product in Cartesian form. What will the dot product? Hiba. Sarah? Yes, Hiba is telling. Yes, Hiba, tell me. What will the dot product? See, the coefficient of I cap is 1. Coefficient of I cap is 1 by root 2. So it's 1 into 1 by root 2. That is 1 by root 2. Coefficient of J cap is 1. Coefficient of J cap is 1 by root 2. So that's 1 plus 1 by root 2. There is no K cap here. So the coefficient you can take K cap is 0. So third term will be 0. So this is 2 by root 2. This is 2 divided by root 2. So 2 by root 2 is root 2. So that's A dot B cap. And component of A along B is not A dot B cap. It's A dot B cap into B cap. So what you can do is A dot B cap multiplied by this B cap. So A dot B cap is root 2. So root 2 multiplied by B cap. What is B cap? B cap is I cap by root 2 plus J cap by root. So see, root 2 and root 2 will cancel. So this will be I cap plus J cap. So D is the correct answer. Okay, many of you were correct. Like Ellen, the answer of Ellen was correct. Hanifa was correct. Akshay and Memuna were making some mistakes. Is it clear now? Hanifa, Saifullah, Sarah?
Yes, sir.
This is a very, very important question. Like if two vectors will be given in Cartesian form and you're supposed to get the value of the components. Note it down, please. Okay, only cross product is left. We'll in the next class, we will extend it for 10-15 minutes. So we can cover the cross product and also the target of that day. Just note it down, then I will discuss the homework. Okay, now let's discuss the homework questions. Just note down the question number. So this is JEPYQ. This we have already solved in the class, so no need to repeat it again. We'll do this question number 4. Question 4 you will do, just note down the question number. Question 4. After question 4, we have already solved this thing. This thing. 8th we did just now. We'll do this question number 13. After 13, you will do this question 14. These questions are from JEPYQ. And after this, you will do few questions from NEET PYQ also. This we did. From NEET PYQ, just note down the question number. Question 2. Question number 2. Question number 5. Question number 7. This we did just now. No? Okay, that's it. Do these questions till next class, and then we will. The next topic will be kinematics. Huh? Next, we'll start kinematics. Okay, so I will stop here. So you can leave except Sara, Aksa, and not Aksa, sorry. Sara, Saifullah, and Hiba. All can leave. You have next class from 5 o'clock. Sara, Hiba, are you there? Saifullah?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So since you people were not in the first lecture or you came late in the first lecture, in the first lecture, we discussed the pattern of NEET and the strategy. So in NEET, in physics, you have 50 questions. 50 questions are divided into 2 categories, like 35 and 15. 35 questions are compulsory. Out of these 15 questions, you have to attempt any 10. So you have choice of 5 questions. Similarly, in chemistry, you have 2 sections. First section have 35 questions. Second section have 15 questions. All these 35 are compulsory. You have to attempt 10 out of these 15. In biology, zoology, and botany are 2 sections. Same. Out of 50, you have to attempt 45. Here, out of 50, you have to attempt 45. This is the current pattern of NEET, sorry. Now, so, and if you add all these questions, the total is 720. To get MBBS in a government college, you at least need around 610. Like this time, few of our students got selected. They have 610, 609, 630 also marks. So to get MBBS, you should score something like 610. So this is the schedule that we have shared with you. Okay, the schedule that we have shared with you covers almost 70-75% of the syllabus. 70-75% means around 650 out of 720. You will be able to attempt questions of 640, 645, 650 marks. But that's the bare minimum. If any one of you can solve, like if you think like you can handle those concepts which are given in the sheet, then we can arrange one-to-one classes also. Like if you are very comfortable with the classes, after the classes you can solve assignments, you are performing in test as well. Then along with the topics that we have shared in the strategy part, we will give you one-on-one classes for the remaining topic as well. Because our target is to cover 75% to 80% of syllabus of both 11th and 12th up to in the next 7 weeks. But if any one of you can do the whole 100% syllabus, then we are happy to help. We will arrange one-to-one classes for you also. And regarding content, you will be using just JEE-PYQ and NEET-PYQ. Say you don't have time for the theory. For theory, class notes are enough. All faculties are preparing this course in a way that you don't need to study theory after the class. For theory, class notes are enough. After the class, you just have to practice questions from NEET-PYQ and JEE-PYQ. I will ask someone from the operations team to share these books with you, NEET-PYQ and JEE-PYQ. That's it. You don't have to do any other thing. And trust me, if you can solve all questions of NEET-PYQ and all questions of JEE-PYQ, including AIEEE, not all questions of JEE-PYQ, selected questions, then you will not find many surprises in your exam. Almost all questions from my subject that will come in the exam, you have already solved those in classes. So that's a strategy that we are following. And that currently the schedule have 2 classes in a day, but if we can't meet the target, we can make it 3 classes in a day also. Anyhow, we have to cover all those topics which are given in that sheet. So Hiba, Sarah, Saifullah, you want to ask something or you want to add something to it? Just tell.
Sir,
Yes, Saifullah.
sir, I am actually planning to write JEE as well, along with NEET.
Along with NEET. See, Saifullah,